So, TJ, with every interview we do, mate, we start with the obvious question. If you could sum your career with everything you've done so far in one word, how would you describe it?
Wild, funnily enough. I would probably use that to describe what my career's been like so far.
Funny, man.
Yeah, I had an interesting rookie year. It was, I kind of just fluked my way into a lot of things. I don't really know how that happened, but I ended up working for both of the biggest companies in Victoria and like Australia within the same year. And it was just complete chance. Like it was literally, we need a guy. Who's a guy? TJ's a guy. And I just, yeah.
Okay. I mean, one breeze, we spoke to obviously many people, and we always find new words every single one we do, right?
Yeah, it definitely breaks the mold and the barrier, like when we do start off with that question. We've had wild, we've had amazing, we've had different, we've had, different answers for different questions and stuff like that. But yeah, funny you mentioned Wild. Your name's TJ Wild. Where does the name TJ Wild comes from? Is it your first name? Is it your stage name? Where did you come up with that?
Well, TJ is my first two initials, so TJ. It's Thomas James, and
Okay.
then Wild. I was like, I need a last name because obviously privacy stuff and all that. I was like, what can I do? I was like listing through like metal band members. So I was like, I could do like Osborne. Nah, it's a bit on the nose. I could do Sabbath. There might be something there. Wild, like Zach Wild, the guitarist. And I brought it into training one day, and I just was like, someone was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "TJ Wild," and they're like, "Oh, that's good. That's okay. I think we can work with that." And so then kind of everything just snowballed from there. Started coming up with like, let's get wild, and coming up with a moniker and stuff like that to just figure it all out and piece it all together, really.
Awesome.
Absolutely, man. So let's obviously start at the beginning, man. I mean, where did you just first discover wrestling?
I was 6 years old, and my cousin, I have one older male cousin, and he's a great influence on me, always was. One day he brings around a little like burned CD or burned DVD of, I think it's the best of Raw is War from like the late 90s or something. And the first vivid image of wrestling I have is Brian Pillman with a broken ankle sitting in his home, threatening Stone Cold to come get him because he's got a weapon. And like that just, I saw this and I was like, yep, this is goofy. This is insane. I love this. This is what I'm biting on. And yeah, so my first experience with professional wrestling ever was Pillman's got a gun.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, it's an interesting one. I've said that a couple times, and that always gets a chuckle because it's always like, oh, that was the thing that got you hooked on wrestling. And I think afterwards it was probably like an Ivory match or something, and I was like, oh, there's women that do this too. What happened with the guy with the gun? Like he was threatening to kill a guy 20 seconds ago, and now we're just wrestling. What's happening?
That's crazy.
I think one thing I like about that segment as well is when the feed just cuts out and you just don't know what happened.
Yeah, like literally, there's the bang, it cuts, and then it's like, what? Where's the feed gone? We need the feed back. Did it kill him? It's like, oh wow, okay, and then it comes back and like Stone Cold's just getting escorted out. It's like, oh, well, that was a bit underwhelming.
So people would describe your character as gritty and like ragged. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I like ragged. The one of the ways I've heard my character described was by a fellow Australian wrestler, Snuff Daddy Gore, and he called me a shaggy little beast man. And I think that is a perfect encapsulation of what TJ Wilde is.
Shaggy little beast man. Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard that in one sentence.
Yeah, I know. Neither had I. And I heard it and I was like, wow, that that's me, you know. I emotionally connect with the term shaggy little beast man. So now wherever I get a chance, I'll say shaggy little beast man, and everyone just kind of goes like, that's good, that's funny.
Fair enough. I mean, it's gonna be a chuckle.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So we've obviously established how you obviously got into wrestling, but how do you go from watching wrestling as a fan to wanting to be a wrestler?
I grew up in like a small country town in between Victoria and New South Wales. So there's a river that runs through the two states that breaks them up. And I lived on one side of the river, and I was trying to figure out where to go to university. I did zoology at university. I have a zoology degree and all that. So I was looking for where I could go to uni with that. And while I was looking for where to go to uni, I was actually secretly planning on going to wrestling school in like the background. So I looked, and there was a place about 10 hours away from me that was up north, and a place where I currently am based out of in Geelong that was 4 hours. So I was like, oh, okay, I've got those two options. And I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, listen, man, whatever you want to do, me and your mum will support you. We'll help you get through it, all that stuff. And so I moved down to Geelong, and COVID hits, and I'm stuck basically locked down in the state that I was living in for 2 years effectively. And I'm just scrolling through social media one day, and I get an ad for the Relentless School of Pro Wrestling, which is where I currently train. And my thought process was, okay, this is cool, but I won't jump into it just yet. I'll give it a little bit of time, I'll think about it. And if it comes up again within the week, then I'll sign up. By the end of the week, I had been hit with that same ad about 5 or 6 times. It just kept popping up. Scroll, pops up. Scroll, pops up. And I'm like, this has to be a sign. So right there, put all my details in, got a phone call from Jake, who runs the wrestling gym. Had a chat with him, and was in 2 days later, pretty much, for my first session.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You've also been a regular at Mayhem Wrestling. What's that like for you?
Mayhem's a lot of fun. Mayhem's a really good vibe. Everywhere I've worked has been a really good vibe. But Mayhem is like my home, pretty much. Like, I've got friends there that I consider like soulmates. It's weird. I met them maybe most of them 2-3 years ago, and I feel like they're family to me. I feel like I spend a lot more time around them than I do anyone else. Yeah, it's a good vibe being at Mayhem, just being around everyone, getting to have a little laugh, have a little chat, and then go out there and beat the dog piss out of each other.
Awesome.
Straight to the point. I love it. So we said obviously Relentless School of Pro Wrestling. What's some of the biggest things you've obviously learned there?
How to wrestle, for one. But I think the main thing is just like making connections. Like, that's really important, to have those connections, like for life, as well as just like having the mental and physical capacity of like, I can do more than I think I can, because you're always going to do stuff that's scary. You're always going to do stuff that you might get hurt, and it's just like, nah, I reckon I got this. And then you do it, and as soon as you do it, you're like, I can do anything. This isn't going to stop me now. Like, I can jump off the top of the ropes and do a backflip and land on my stomach, and then I can get up and just keep going. You get winded, and you learn how to breathe and all that. So you get winded. It's to the point now, if I get winded in a match, I'm just like, yep, okay, cool. Take a big deep breath in. Let's just keep going. So yeah, it's very much a mental fortitude sort of thing.
Okay.
Awesome. So you mentioned obviously you've had one hell of a rookie year. What is next for you?
Just keep going. Just keep pushing, keep working, get around. Enjoy it as much as I can. Because there is some times where you just wake up and you're like, I gotta wrestle today. Okay. Get a stretch in, feeling good. Oh, maybe this hurts, maybe that hurts. But you still go in and you give your best. Like, I've currently got a bit of a niggling thing at the moment with my neck and my shoulder. And last night we had a show, and I was working with 5 of my mates, and I was like, all right, what are we doing? Okay, we're gonna do this. He's gonna do this thing. Okay, cool. Someone's like, I'll do a dive to the outside, and we're all like, yep, I'm gonna be right at the front. I'm gonna be the first one to catch her. I don't care that I'm busted up and I'm sore and all this. I'm literally like, I want to go out there. I want to put on the best performance I can. And that's pretty much all it is. It's just perform to the best of my ability for as long as I can. And if anything comes of that in the next however many years, then something comes of it. If not, I'm fine to just keep hanging around with my mates.
Awesome. I like that.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about the Black Hole Sun. How did this all come about? Because this is a very unique name.
It is. The way it came about was promo class. So my finisher, I guess, the move I would do usually to end matches was the Black Hole Slam, Abyss's spinning slam deal. And we were just cutting a promo one day before a practice match, and I was sitting there and I said something along the lines of like, and when you go one-on-one with the Black Hole Sun, and kind of took a beat. And as soon as I took a beat, everyone that was directly in front of me just went, oh, that's it. Because I was struggling to come up with like names and gimmick ideas for so long. And I just dropped that one line, and it was like everything just went boom and clicked. And it was, yeah, makes sense to me at least. I'm like, oh, I'll do like a metalhead gimmick, which is really funny because people are always like, why don't you come out the Black Hole Sun? And I'm like, it's too slow. Not a good entrance song for me personally for what I'm trying to do. But yeah, it's a moniker. Moniker's a moniker. People remember it. We have a fan who comes to like nearly every show. It's insane. She's always watching me wrestle. She has a 3D printer, and she 3D printed me a little like coaster of a logo that I made and gave it to me to show. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is amazing. And she was like, yeah, I saw it on your Instagram, and I just took a screenshot, put it in the printer, and I printed it out. And I was like, this is mental. Thank you so much. You did not have to do this, and I will send you a better one, and we can talk about merchandising.
So what would you say in your own words that makes the Australian wrestling scene special?
How much we all care. You go to any show, and there is a backstage full of people who give so much and care so much for so little in return. And we are just hungry, and there's always a little bit of spite involved because we're always like, nah, I can do this better. You'll see something on like TV, and you're like, I reckon I can do that. And you do it. And you're like, did it look better? Did it look the same? Like, who knows? We'll have to wait till we get the footage back. So we got to sit there and wait for the footage. And like, we're all still getting in there. We're all still training. We're like, heaps of us are getting around, eating better, going to the gym. There's so much nutrition and weightlifting involved with it. And it's just, we all care so much because we want to be the best. We want to get to those higher levels. The people who don't want to leave and want to make Australian wrestling better from within Australia. I got a mate who's literally like, yeah, man, I don't really want to leave the country. I'd rather just like make my own promotion and just like bolster that up and have a good community within Australia that we can, be huge and run shows like every other week, and we can start doing these bigger and bigger places. So yeah, like we all give a shit. Like, and it's so important because as soon as you stop caring, it's like, the love's gone. And there's not really much you can do to get it back, I don't think.
That's true.
Okay, so absolutely. So I've got a follow-up question for that. I mean, how would you describe the Australian wrestling fans in your own words?
Rabid, amazing, the best, genuinely. I think, especially when Mayhem runs, we run in kind of the outer suburbs of Melbourne, so it's a lot more country town, and we get fantastic crowds. They want to be there. They want to see the wrestling. Last night, I'm out in the crowd after my match watching my mates wrestle. And literally, there's this kid front row up out of his chair yelling at my friend, like, get up, you need to get up because you need to hit that bastard back. Like, they're so hungry for it. They love seeing it. Like, you can look at, small country towns outside of Melbourne to inner city at the Thornbury Theatre where they get 600-700 like people crowds packed into this theatre, and everyone's there for it. Everyone's rabid, everyone's biting. Someone does something amazing and you hear every single one of those fans go, oh, and then, big guy comes in, takes someone out, oh, boo. Like, they're all there for it. They all understand exactly what they're doing, and they're so energetic and ready to be there, and they're ready to. It's like the wrestlers and the fans have the same thing in common. They all care. Everyone wants everyone to do well. So we're all going to come here and we're all going to support you like we want you to do well. We're all going to hate you if you're a heel. Like, there's just so much reciprocal love there for wrestling.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
So obviously with you doing uni or finding it and stuff like that, and then obviously wanted to become a professional wrestler, and then we know Australia is fucking huge.
Yes.
And obviously it's not like going from Cambridge to London, which is probably an hour's distance. Trying to get to these promotions is like hard, and you've got to put on a lot of graft in, like the travel and stuff like that. So how is your, I'm not saying mental state, but how is your like mental health? Like, have you ever been like burnt out or just like exhausted or just, I'm not saying want to quit, but how have you been? Like,
I had a moment one time last year where I was kind of like, what's the point? Why am I doing this? I drove about, I think it was like 8 hours in one day there. Like, it was 4 hours there, 4 hours back. And it was like a little festival show. It was mainly just to get reps in. I was hanging out with my mates. We were just doing some fun stuff, We were like, oh, how do you feel about this? It was like, well, how about we go easy this match? And then we do it. And we'd be like, yeah, okay, that was good. Then you walk up to the next guy. Hey, man, how about we go a little crazy for this one? Because you're just trying stuff. You're just like, I'll see what I can do. And I'm driving back, and I've got my partner with me because they were like, oh, I'll come down and, hang out and watch. And I was like, oh, okay, you don't have to, but that's fine. And I ended up popping 2 tires on my car. So I had to wait for a tow truck to come grab me. And I'm just sitting there talking with my partner, and I'm sad. I've burst 2 tires, got to get those replaced. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, what's the point? Why am I doing this? And my partner's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, we're on the side of the road about an hour from home, and I've got to wait for a tow truck to come get us, pay for the tow truck. I've then got to get my tires replaced, pay for that. I'm going to do this and this and this. And I just started spiraling, and it was just like, what's the point of it all? Why am I doing this? I should just stop. It would be way easier if I just stopped wrestling altogether. I wouldn't have to worry about being in shape. I wouldn't have to worry about tanning. I wouldn't have to worry about X, Y, Z. I'm just going, and it's just venting at this point. I'm just trying to get it all out. And I get to the end of it, and my partner just looks at me, and they're like, well, you can stop, but do you want to? And I was like, no. And so they were like, well, there's your answer. You've just got to keep going. And I haven't had a moment like that since, I don't think. But it was a bit of a come to Jesus. I was like, here's all of the bad stuff that I don't hate, but I dislike about doing this. It takes up so much time. I barely have any free time to do anything. And my partner just looks me dead in the eyes and essentially just goes, yeah, but you love it, right? And then, I genuinely can't think of another moment where I've had my confidence rattled like that since, which is good.
That's good.
Great answer. So following on obviously from that, what is the most rewarding thing when it comes to wrestling for you?
I'm a bit of a sicko. So I like doing a lot of stuff. I like taking a lot of stuff. I just enjoy the most rewarding part of it for me is being able to have a good match and have a crowd come along with us on a story of the whole thing. But I think that and making sure that everyone's out there's having fun. I'm having fun. The partner I'm in the ring with is having fun. If I'm doing a tag match, everyone involved's having a good time. Like we're all enjoying it while doing what we have to do. Because I personally don't think there's anything worse than when I have a match and I come back and I go, "Ah, man, that sucked." Like I just wasn't a good match. Either I don't think something went right, or my partner doesn't think something went right, and it's someone's missed something or someone's done something extra and we didn't communicate or we couldn't communicate. I just enjoy getting out there, having a good, safe time, and then making sure that everyone's along for the ride, pretty much.
Okay.
So 2026, we've still got like 8 months left. Where do you want to debut this year? Or like where do you want to take the TJ Wylde character this year?
I'd love to work kind of up the East Coast around Sydney area. Go across to South Australia, work in Adelaide. I've got some things planned possibly for mid-year to go over to Adelaide with a mate of mine and do some stuff over there with Riot City Wrestling, which is kind of big promotion down there, or like any promotion in South Australia, really. And then Sydney, I got family up there, so I was like, oh well, there's a nice place to stay up there. I can go up there, do some training with the PWA guys up there. They recently had festival shows down in Geelong where I live. I got to meet Jack Bonza and Mick Moretti and Cherry Stevens, who are all trainers or associated in some way with PWA. And at the end of it, they all pretty much, like Jack Bonza pretty much said, if you guys come up to Sydney and shoot us a message, we'll make sure that we can try and get you in and you can come train with us, have a roll around. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's something that I could maybe do down the line. But yeah, I think at the moment I'll probably stick with the Australia, just in terms of prices of everything, Australia.
Yeah.
And then who knows what the next XYZ amount of years may hold.
Yeah.
Never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never know. So, is it hard now being a wrestling fan? Obviously, now you're involved in wrestling.
I think I look at it with a different light. I was talking to another interviewer in the gorilla position about it the other day, and I said, I watch current day wrestling in two minds. So there's the mind of like little 6-year-old me who's watching Raw for the first time and is like, oh my gosh, everything they're doing is like so amazing and crazy. And then there's wrestler me who's sitting there watching it and going, okay, so they're going to go into this thing and then they're going to do this. And then they do exactly what I've said just because I know the movements and everything. So I try and separate the two as much as I can. A lot of older stuff that I go back and watch I'll have that kind of analytical brain about it because I'm trying to, in the nicest way possible, I'm trying to find little shit to steal out of it because I'm like, oh, this is a cool little thing that I can take, or this is a cool little thing I can take. Whereas watching now, which I mostly just see all the clips on Twitter like most wrestlers do, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then just scroll. And then, oh, that's kind of cool. Scroll. And then I'll see something from, like 80s All Japan. And it'll just be like Kabashi beating the shit out of someone. And I'm like, that's sick. That's awesome. That's just the coolest thing. And it's just like two dudes just braining each other with shoot punches. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is the best thing. Like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great day. All right, cool. Can turn my phone off now and put it away. So yeah, there is that fan inside me that still gets a little bit of joy out of watching stuff. But now it's bit of both.
Okay. So I'm going to say to you, all the promotions that I know of, most of the promotions that I know of in Australia. And I want you to give me one or two names that comes to mind straight away.
Yep.
So you got PWA.
Mick Moretti and Robbie Eagles.
Okay. MCW.
Edward Dusk and Adam Brooks.
Okay. Mayhem.
Erica Reed and JXT.
Okay. Renegades.
Crackerjack and Ryan Rapid.
Okay. OPW.
Jesse Love and Carlo Cannon.
Okay. WSW.
Ooh, now you're hitting me. Matt Hayter and Jonah Rock.
Okay. Riot City Wrestling.
Dean Brady and Chris Basso.
Okay. I'm sure there's probably more, but that's just
there's a
what comes to
million.
my head. Yeah, there is.
You
That's what I mean.
you said World Series. You said World Series Wrestling and then Riot City, and I was like, I could have said Hayter for both of those. Damn.
And Edward Dusk, you mentioned him. I've had him on. You mentioned Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks, me and him's gonna be interviewing him next Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? Who else did you say? Yeah, I've had quite a few on from Australia, and then this weekend is Australian weekend.
Oh, lovely.
For the podcast.
Very nice. Very
Gonna
nice.
be 3 hours non-stop recording, right?
Yeah, on Sunday.
Woof. It's a big Sunday for you boys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the love of the game, eh?
Oh, exactly. Gotta have it for the love of the game. Especially down here. I think that's probably the reason you like so many people are keen to do stuff like this. It's very rare that Australian wrestlers really get interviewed for much that I can think of. Like I can't remember in recent memory a lot of people who interview Australian wrestlers specifically. But I'm glad that like you boys are doing this. There's a couple places that are based in Australia now that are doing this as well. And it's all different formatting. You guys obviously do this podcast style. Someone in the gorilla position does like a text-based one that goes up as a web page. And then we have a guy down here called Michael, and he has a little zine called Moonsault Press, and he interviews people and then does show reviews as well as the interviews. And I'm like, this is great. I love media. This is awesome.
Yeah, more Australian talent, the better for us. Well, we will literally interview anyone from Australia. That's our kind of like niche at the moment, as well as UK and other bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take a question for one breezy. What he normally asks: what three people is the ones to watch from the Australian wrestling scene? Your opinion?
Okay, that's fun. I've got to say Erica Reed. She's awesome. She's one of my closest friends in wrestling. She is fantastic in the ring, fantastic on the mic, and just an all-around amazing person just in general. Edward Dusk, again.
He mentioned you.
He mentioned me.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to watch his video back. I'm very flustered now. That's very nice. Yeah, man. I think Dusky's gonna go so far. He's one of the guys that I look up to so much in wrestling. I say to my partner all the time, I'm like, he's like my big brother in wrestling. He is very much taken me under his wing and gives me a lot of feedback and constructive criticism that has made me a better wrestler. It just has. I think one more guy to kind of keep an eye on in terms of like he's got the look and he understands what he's doing is a guy called Shotgun Matt Farrow. He's one of my closest friends. and he's insane. He's got the look, he's got the talent. He loves to get on the stick and cut a promo. But yeah, man, he's the total package. You look at him and you're like, how that's a wrestler. He looks like a wrestler. He's built like a wrestler. Moves like a wrestler. It's just, yeah, it's undeniable in my mind that something big is going to happen for that guy in the next couple of years, 100%.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of change that question. When I say Australian professional wrestling, what 5 names come to mind, like, that are not ones to watch? They're just like 5. That could be a Kyle Fletcher, a Rhea Ripley. Who's 5?
All right, I got to use my fingers because I'm going to lose count because there's so many. Hartley Jackson, absolutely killing it in Japan. Bronson Reed or Jonah Rock, like an absolute unit who just ran all of Australia pretty much for like years. Slex, who's now starting to break out over in the US again after he got signed to Ring of Honor and COVID happened and all that. JXT, who is one of my nearest and dearest coaches. And I think the last one, I'm going to go for one that's probably not a name you guys know too much, but George the Hitman Julio. He's an old school guy. He's like in his 70s now, and he only had his last match like a couple years, like his proper like I'm done wrestling match, because wrestlers never retire. His last match like last year, and he's like, I'm done taking bumps. I'm too old now. I can't do it. But George is the guy who has trained essentially everyone who has trained me. He is the litmus test for Australian wrestling, because if George thinks you're not doing something right, you're probably not doing it right. He's just got so much knowledge and so much patience with everyone. And literally the way he'll describe how to do something, another one of my coaches, Funtime Phil, he has a great story about it. He's like, yeah, I asked George, I was like, hey, George, how do you do a head scissor? And he goes, this your opponent, and this is you.
Okay, so TJ, this is obviously a question I ask a lot of UK talent. For people who's not familiar with yourself, just tell them a little bit about obviously you as a person and the character.
So I had to do a commentary sheet the other day, so luckily you've asked me this at the right time. TJ Wylde is a metalhead maniac, I believe is the term I used. He is a headbanger who loves to get in mosh pit fights and will throw hands with anyone who wants to get some.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mosh pit. What?
Mosh pit maniac, I'm pretty sure. The amount of times I've been talking about stuff and it's like, I'm the circle pit punisher, and I'm like, I'm just throwing as many moshing terms in there as I can because it's funny for me. I like saying it, and it always gets a little giggle out of people when I show them the promos back. So
you've got a lot of like the Black Hole Sun, the mosh pit, whatever you've just said. You've got a lot of like, I'm not saying strange names, but it's like
unique,
different. Yeah, different. And I'm like, you definitely either just sat there with a book, just writing down names, going over things, or just thinking, you just must be bored and going over things. Do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't think of like the mosh pit something or the Black Hole Sun. It's just unusual for someone. Yeah.
I think I try and think of stuff a lot. I try and use a lot of my free time that I have to do wrestling stuff. In between time at work, I'll be, editing footage together for reels and stuff, or I'll be making up like promo pics and like merchandising ideas and stuff like that. So I think I spend a lot of time, unfortunately for a lot of people in my life, I spend a lot of time thinking about wrestling stuff as well as doing wrestling. It has now just infected my life wholly and solely. My partner has a sewing machine, and I'm like, oh, could you like sew this onto my jacket? Or like, could you sew this on my pants? Or could we do this sort of thing? I'm just trying to come up with like different ideas for pretty much everything to do with wrestling. So it is it's rent free, just living here. It's always there.
Like,
Over to you, one reason.
so, because you're in Australia, obviously this is not a wrestling question now. What is some stuff that you like to do outside of wrestling? Like, apart from the beach, the weather. I mean, I don't know because you're in Perth. Did you say Perth?
Geelong.
Geelong.
Yeah, so
Why did I say
southern.
Perth? Don't know why I said Perth. No, because I was watching Lena Cross's video earlier. Do you know what? She went live on Instagram, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm from." Someone asked her a question like, "Where's she from?" And it went Perth. She got Perth in
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like going to, the Black Hole Sun, mosh pit stuff, all this. I like going to music gigs. I like going out and listening to live music. It's a big thing for me. It always really has been. I've always been around music in some way, shape, or form. I used to be in a band in high school, so it was part of my end of schooling sort of stuff. But it was just like a band of me and my mates, and we'd get up on high school assemblies and be like, "Hey, how are you? We're gonna play Metallica." And then the next week it'd be like, "We're doing Stevie Wonder," and it'd just be like we'd play everything because we could. We just got free reign essentially to play whatever music we wanted to. And I've always had like music within my life. My dad used to play "Hot in the City" by Billy Idol when I was a kid in his old little Toyota Camry, and we'd just blare it and we'd just fang down the roads, just listening to Billy Idol and all these like old rock songs, Meatloaf, stuff like that. So going to gigs is definitely a big one. Going to the gym at this point is now just more work than it is a relaxation thing, but I still enjoy doing it. I go in there, I chuck a podcast on, work out for like 2 hours, and then come home and hang out with my partner, watch some TV, hang out with my dog, go for walks, just like stuff like that. I got a lot of mates. Unfortunately, we're all either doing uni or working, so we never really get time to cross over. So when we do, it's like we have to plan it out in advance. It's like, all right, I'm free 2 weeks from now on Saturday. Is anyone else doing anything? No? Okay, let's go. Yeah, live music shows, live gigs. I like going to comedy. Comedy shows are always fun for me. Just to sit down and kind of listen to people talk about their lives and stuff like that. My partner's a big drama kid, so we've been to a lot of drama performances, a lot of like Shakespeare stuff. We go to Shakespeare in the Botanical Gardens of Melbourne every year. And that's always fun. They're always doing a different show. So I think last year they did Macbeth. This year they did Twelfth Night. The year before last they did Much Ado About Nothing. And it's all like glam metal theme for some of them, or like everyone's all glammed up looking like David Bowie, and it's like this is insane. I'm all here for it. I wasn't a big Shakespeare guy in high school, but if this is what Shakespeare looks like now, I'm all for it. This is great.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm buzzed up that you said Metallica, and I've got to ask the question: what's your best Metallica song?
Oh, I do love Creeping Death. Creeping Death is a very good Metallica song. There's a guy over here named Mad Dog who comes out to Sad But True, and every time that hits on the drive, I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is such a good song. But I get asked favorite song quite a bit, and I don't think I really have an answer. I think it's kind of amorphous and changes. And it's the same with like every band. I've got a couple favorite songs from each one. So it's like Creeping Death, Sad But True, and To Sandman, just for everything to do with that song is fucking amazing. Yeah, so those have probably been my top three, if I'm going to be completely honest. And then I think a close number 4 is One, because that is the first Metallica song that my cousin ever showed me.
That's a great
He
album.
he can play the solo on guitar, and I was like, that's the coolest thing ever.
And that's a killer album as well.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
Okay, this is going to take a while. All right. I think Samoa Joe is definitely up there. He was a guy that I found in like my teen years, and I've like since watching Samoa Joe for the first time, I was like, this guy's just the best. He's unbelievably talented, and it's a shame that he didn't really get as much recognition as he should have for a couple of years of his career. But he's just fantastic. Danielson is also up there. He's one of the people that made me buy into wrestling when I was kind of on the outs a little bit. I was not watching product and stuff like that. Obviously, Mania 30 hits, and it's like, oh, Daniel Bryan wrestling Triple H to get into the match at the end of the night. He wins. Oh, that's cool. Goes out in the triple threat and ends up winning the belts. And it's like, oh, this is insane. And then all the injuries and everything that happened to him, to the comeback, to the injuries again, to the comeback, and then leaving and going to AEW and all this. And just, yeah, he's the guy who made small guys matter that isn't Rey Mysterio, in my mind. And speaking of which, Rey Mysterio is another one that goes on the list because he's, yeah, it's hard not to think of smaller guys in wrestling and think of Rey Mysterio. It's been the age-long question of who's going to be the next Rey Mysterio. It's Rey Mysterio because he's insane and he's a cyborg. He's just he's still going. He's like 50-something. He's got 2 crook knees and he's just still doing crazy shit. He's in a ladder match at WrestleMania and I'm like, you don't need to do this, my friend. You're getting up there in age. You're already in the Hall of Fame. You don't need to kill yourself to get in there. It's mental. And I think the last one is a bit of a curveball. I think it might be Randy Savage. Like,
Okay.
he's the whole package. He's from the promos to the in-ring to everything he did. He had so much like fluidity and he made it feel a little bit real, which I think based on things that I've heard about, Randy Poffo, the guy, a lot of it was real. He did think that people were out to get him. He thought that people were coming for his spot. And I think it bled into his wrestling a lot, which just makes it even better that he did everything that he did. So I'd say, yeah. So Joe, Danielson, Rey Mysterio, Randy Savage. 4 weirdest people to walk into a bar and see, I think.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So, as we're beginning obviously to wind down, man, I mean, what's the top 2 people you want to get in the ring with?
Oh, top 2 people I want to wrestle. I always say I want to wrestle JXT. Like, he is one, from a coach perspective, I'd love to actually be able to wrestle him. And also from a wrestling perspective, he's like one of the biggest guys in Australia. Why wouldn't you want to get in the ring with him? Like, get in there, get to do all the social media stuff. That'd be great. I think the other guy I want to get in with. Nigel McGuinness. I reckon that'd be a bit of fun. I like the UK kind of older sort of goofy catch wrestling style, as well as just stiff. Like, all right, here's your upper lip sort of thing, just striking and getting the sound and the visceralness of it all, and just absolutely killing people with shots. Like, that's my bread and butter. I love stuff like that. I'll eat a stiff one and I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, let's go. This is fun. Starts to like turn up the intensity a little bit, and then you both reach the point of like, all right, we're just going now, I guess. Cool, this is sick.
Okay. The final 2 questions, I think. Well, we've 2 things that we started recently to do. So we'll do a quick A and B question, and then we'll wrap it into something else. So,
Cool.
Do you prefer Melbourne or Sydney?
I prefer Melbourne a lot more. I think
Okay.
for all the hustle and bustle of a capital city, I feel like Melbourne's a lot more homely in a way. It's a weird one. I like Sydney is not really my thing. I like the colder weather. I'm not big fan of the heat. So
Okay.
when it gets to 40 down here, I'm like, oh, I'm dying. I'm like, singlets on. It's like, whew, okay, I might need to fill up a cold bath and sit in that for a little bit. But I love the cold. It's my bread and butter. I used to go outside in like footy shorts in -2-degree weather and just walk around. And everyone was like, what's wrong with you? Why do you do that? And I'm like, well, it's nice. I enjoy it. Feels good on my skin. Whereas the sun just hurts. I'm a pasty little metalhead kid. So the sun hurts, man.
Awesome. So this next one, Breeze, you want to describe this? Because obviously this is something you put together. We're still trying to figure a name out for it.
Off the top of your head, I don't know. But pretty much, we describe. So, say for example, charisma. But you say an Australian wrestler that comes to your mind. But we'll go through like attributes of wrestlers. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Best way.
Cool.
Okay, so the first one, charisma.
Matt Hader.
Okay.
Strength.
Jonah Rock.
Okay. High-flying technical ability.
Adam Brooks.
Yeah, that man can move.
Oh, he's insane. I watch him and I'm like, how have you gone from here to here in 2 seconds? And then he's like, I turn away and he's like jumping somewhere and I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you coming from? It's like Spider-Man. It's crazy.
Speed.
Adam Brooks again, I think.
Okay, I'll let you off that one because you're new to this. You can't name anyone double now.
Fair enough. I'll cop that.
I'll let you have one. I'll let you have that one. First warning. Technical ability.
Jake Navarra.
Okay.
Mic work.
Edward Dusk.
Yeah, I can see that. Who can captivate an audience?
Erica Reed.
Okay.
What about entrance?
Lockie Hendricks, weirdly enough.
Okay. Who's the best face?
The best face. Ooh.
Baby face, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta think. Caveman Ugg.
Okay.
Okay. What about storytelling?
Rocky Monero.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Who's the best heel? Like, who's good at being a bad guy or girl?
Best heel. Dean Brady is a fantastic heel.
Okay.
He's menacing in all the right ways, and he's absolutely massive. So he looks like he'll kill you.
Okay.
What about all rounder? Who's good at basically everything we've discussed?
Weirdly enough, Funtime Phil. He doesn't get as much credit as he really should for being able to do a lot of that stuff. But he just keeps it all under wraps. He's one of those guys where he's like, he doesn't have to do much, but he can do so much. It's like you get in there with him and you're like, oh, hey, I was thinking about doing this thing. And he goes, yeah, okay, so you just do this to, like, you'll be talking about chaining sequences. And it's like, oh, I was thinking, like, how do I get from here to here? I've done X, Y, Z. And he goes, Or you can do this one, and it'll just put you in a position, and you're like, how did I get here? This doesn't make sense. But it's the same sort of idea with Brooksy. It's like, how have I gone from this point to this point in 2 seconds when it takes me so long usually to do it? And it's shocking. It's shocking.
Awesome. That's it. I think of.
That's it.
You got any more, Liam?
I've got nothing more.
I hope that was all right for you. But TJ, I thank you for coming on behalf of myself, Liam as well. And Liam, I'm going to nick this from you.
Okay.
We're going to let you plug or say anything that you want, and then as soon as you want, well, not as soon as you want, we're going to let you plug anything, and then after that, we'll end it. But thank you from Body Slam, thank you from me, thank you from Liam. Liam will say a little bit.
As always, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've had so much fun. Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I've had a great time. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was awesome for you to reach out and get this all sorted.
Definitely, man. Thank you for coming on.
That's all good.